I use design thinking a lot and the cognitive processes behind design thinking to spark exactly what we're talking about. A different space for people and a different way of thinking, because it's right, we're being pushed and business is being pushed into that space because competitive advantage and competition is getting more and more complicated and complex. So agile teams, my starting point is always the agile mindset. So if I take Robert Keegan's work around, technical challenges and adaptive challenges, we are now in the world of adaptive challenges, which is what, for me, managing complexity is about. So agile teams is around understanding what collaboration means for them, getting them to look at different processes and trying it out. So divergence of ideas, convergence of ideas, and a prototypable solution. And it doesn't matter if it's not the final solution, and it doesn't matter if it's not perfect. That's what we're testing. And of course, if you diverge ideas like that, you can go and get the outlier voices from the edges of the systems or the team or the community, which is, as we've already said, where a lot of different ideas lie. So it's about really bringing all ideas to the table. And that's, it sounds simple, and it is simple if I put it on a piece of paper, but it's quite hard to enact because organizational culture is what it is, and people are not at the same level of maturity. So that agile teams and the smaller team of teams discussion of what model would work for you. That's the big thing. And sprinting on a minimum viable environment. So what does the minimum viable environment look like for you? Who are it's a business canvas discussion for me. Who are the stakeholders? What's the benefits? Which resources do you need? What would be your first action? What measure are you going to take? Say, yes, this MVE is viable and we will build on that. So all those type of things to keep it fast moving as well, because this type of process is slower mentally than just delivering, and that's different from what they're used to.
And Susie, you were just implying that, we have to also be thinking about the culture that does that, right? Because that could very easily become very you go do and bring back, and I'll understand that, but what you're pointing at is that psychological safety, the go experiment, the try, the curiosity, respect, all that technical sounding stuff works best when the culture, the psychological, sociological culture is there also.
But absolutely. And it reminds me of an anecdote of a client I had where we were discussing the transformation strategy and the human dimension of the transformation strategy. And he said, I'm really bought into this. Come and tell me when it's finished. Okay. So, but anecdotally, it's interesting to see just how removed he felt from that. Because I think to come back to, psychological safety also needs to be role modeled from the top if it's going to be a cultural shift. So it's so important that people feel that they can bring their whole selves to work, their best ideas without fear of reprisal, and that permission is given in the group, whether it's a team or a board or an excom or community. And that, if you look at the 4 stages from Timothy Clark, that they have that safety to be included, that safety to learn, because everybody has a need to learn and grow, that safety to contribute. So I can put my ideas on the table. My team will step back so that I can do that, and to challenge. My team will also step back so that I can challenge the status quo. So I think that's really important, and it's not just on a PowerPoint slide, because often I see it on a PowerPoint slide. So this is where I'm back to operationalization, and the design thinking methods and things like that can create a different environment quite quickly. I think the question then is, how do you plug that back into the existing culture?